Testing, testing. One, two, three, three, three. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Well, I'm back in the recording booth on Backlook Cinema, the podcast. I am here with a special bonus episode. Yes, we have one of these because we just had a new movie came out, and you know me, I'm your host, Zoe. That's Z-O or Z-O if you're outside of the United States. And normally we take a look at the movies of yesteryear. But tonight I'm going to give you an impression of a movie that me and Zach just witnessed. And this is bonus episode 15. Once again, thank you for downloading and streaming. We really appreciate it. Now, as I said, or as I normally say, the reason we started this show is to strengthen the bond between me and Zach. And I feel like we did just that with the movie that we just watched. Now, we normally watch movies that I love when I was growing up in the 70s, 80s, and the early 90s. But now I want to talk to you about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, you've probably heard other reviews or other people talk about it, or other people gave you their impressions. I want to sit here and give you my spoiler-free impressions. First, let me just give you the rundown of this movie. A young and powerful girl, America Chavez, is running for her life from extra-dimensional monsters hell-bent on stealing the very power that she possesses. By chance, she runs into Doctor Strange, who, seeing the danger that she's in, takes it upon himself with the help of Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, and the power of the Sorcerer's stronghold at Kamatal to protect Miss Chavez and defend the multiverses. This movie is starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Dr. Stephen Strange, the master of the mystic arts, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Carl Amadeus Mordo, Benedict Wong as Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez, and finally, Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. Now, as you may have heard, listening to other people, there are also some excellent cameos in this movie. More cameos than you can throw a stick at. And I know that me and Zach were very well satisfied with the cameos that appeared in this movie. So, and I'm excited. If you haven't seen this movie, I'm excited for you to see it. Now, even though I'm very well aware that most of the people in my audience have already seen Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but just in case you haven't, just in case you're on the fence about watching this movie, let me lay to rest by letting you know that the director was none other than Sam Raimi. You know Sam Raimi. You know Evil Dead, Spider-Man, Darkman, coming back to the superhero genre to show you how it's done, to show these young directors how you do a superhero movie. This movie was written by Michael Waldron, probably an unfamiliar name for most people. I know he was unfamiliar to me. He don't even really have a lot of credits as far as writing TV shows or movies, but he is the man that created Loki for television. He is the man that wrote an episode of Rick and Morty. That episode was The Old Man and the Seat. And if you hadn't seen this episode, I believe it was season 4, or it may have been season 3. It's one of the best episodes of television. It's one of those episodes that make you think after you watch this episode. Rick and Morty has always been known for their cerebral comedy, and this is one of the strongest of the cerebral episodes in Rick and Morty. And then he also created the show called Heels, which is Star's television wrestling drama. Not high school wrestling, professional wrestling. And it looks interesting, but I don't have stars, so I can't really tell you much about it. But it stars Stephen Amell, and it looks good on the trailers. So and if you're still on the fence, then let it be known that the music in this movie, well, you know who did the music in this movie. Who follows Sam Raimi? Who does Sam Raimi carry around him like luggage when he goes out to make a movie? None other than Danny Elfman, the man that you just recently seen in excellent physical fitness at Coachella. And now I just want to give you my impressions of the movie. So I was expecting this movie to be like a confusing mess because when I've heard other people talk about it, and the way they seemed to talk about it was that there was a lot of stuff going on and maybe it would be kind of hard to follow, but it really wasn't. It seemed like a very conventional movie to me. It seemed like a very classic superhero story, and it works extremely well. And there are some elements in the story that let you know that, yeah, this was definitely directed by Sam Raimi. I'm not talking about like camera angles or things of that nature. What I'm really talking about is there's a particular way how a story or particularly a superhero story by Sam Raimi goes. And I spotted some of those elements. And then, of course, it had some familiar actors that are, Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is another piece of luggage that Sam Raimi carries along with him. So Bruce Campbell has a cameo in the movie, obviously. You know he's going to be there because it's a Sam Raimi movie. So this, like I say, it's more or less a conventional superhero story. So but it's very exciting. It's got a lot of great moments, and the cameos in the movie really make the movie. On the way home, it's just me and Zach just talking about some of the things that we love, some of the scenes that we love, some of the story elements that we love that can't reveal here. Pretty much anything I tell you about the movie will be a spoiler, and you don't want that. You don't want to be spoiled. You want to go in, you want to get the full force of the surprise when you go into this movie. I mean, some of the they hinted at a lot of things in the trailer. So some of the things that you've seen in the trailers, then you're going to have guessed probably. And you probably hear people say that you have to watch like the prerequisite TV series. And not really. You don't really have to watch too much. Maybe WandaVision. Maybe you should watch that. But not really. It's not really necessary. You can basically go into this story knowing nothing and still be thoroughly entertained by it. And that's really my impression. My impression is that I was thoroughly entertained, and I was entertained to the point where I wanted to talk about the movie after the movie was over. That's what I'm looking for in a movie. The special effects, the storytelling, the action sequences, the set designs, the costumes, everything was pretty much on point with this movie. There was nothing in there that I would say that disappointed me. There may be some plot holes. There are always plot holes in movies like this. I hadn't seen any, or not one that like really bothered me. There are some times when I watch a movie that I like everything about it, but then there's this one thing that eats at me, that eats at my soul, that nags at me from, like, like for my friends over at Watching It podcast, one of the things that bothers them about solo superhero movies is they ask, where are the other heroes at? Which is a fairly legitimate question. Like, after the heroes form the Avengers, if there is like a world altering event that's happening in one superhero movie, then some of the other heroes should show up, and rarely does that happen. But such a thing does not concern me. This is not something that's going to eat at my soul. For me, I'm pretty confident that they're busy doing something else. They're probably dealing with a different earth-shattering event, or they may not be available for one reason or another. So that sort of thing doesn't bother me. And I didn't see anything really that bothered me in this movie. There may have been some small things here or there, but I'm like, well, it's magic. And I just chalk it up to magic, just like when you watch Star Wars. Why did that happen? It's the Force. The Force had something to do with it. So that's why I give movies like this a lot of grace. And so I'm biased in such a way that I skew to try to like it, even if it's a subpar movie. But I don't think this is one of those. I think this is a very good movie. It's not. Is it the best movie like in the past? I don't know, 6 months. Maybe not. Maybe not the best movie, but it's above average. It's still pretty up there in my opinion, and that's all I can give you. So, should you see this movie? I encourage it. I encourage you to go see this movie. Let me tell you something. This theater that we went to was packed. We went to a 7:45 showing, and the only empty seats in the theater were the ones that were directly in front of the screen. And we went to an IMAX theater. You know how big those screens are, and you try to go to an IMAX theater in the front row, you're going to break your neck. The reason that those seats weren't filled because people didn't want to pay $20 to see you to sit right in front of the screen. That's just not what they wanted to do. So there were a lot of people who were willing to go to a potential super spreader event to watch this movie. And they didn't care. They took off their masks, they ate their popcorn, they drank their soda. They were there to have a good time, to put their troubles on the shelf and enjoy the movie. And from being in the theater, being around those people, I could tell that a lot of the audience really enjoyed the movie. So I can give you my impressions. My impressions that it was a great movie and that you should go see it. And then my impression of the audience is that the audience really enjoyed this movie. So that's what I came on here to tell you. Thank you so much for listening. Just as a reminder, our episodes are coming out on Mondays now. I try to get them out as early on Monday as I can, but they are coming out on Monday. I'm going to try to be consistent. And I got some announcement on, just a tiny, you know what? I might as well tell you now. I got a new design finally in the store. I know you've been waiting for it, and I'll put it out on the social medias. I got some new designs. So I'll leave my social media links in the show notes, or you can visit the website at backlookcinema.com that has all of the show links or my social media links. And you'll hear my voice on Monday. Thank you so much. You guys have a great time. And if you're going to be anything, be outstanding.